Hey, what up guys? This is Randall with Roll Call Tech, and this is going to be a new addition to my Dell Precision family. I've gotten quite a few deals off of LetGo. It's an app that you can get, or go to the website LetGo. It's kind of like Craigslist, but not a lot of people go to it, and it's a lot less shady and a lot more upfront. These two computers right here were both LetGo purchases. I never did a video on this, but this is actually my travel gaming rig. It is a Dell XPS 8500. It has an i7-3700, which is I think a Sandy Bridge processor, third generation. It came with 8 gigs of RAM, power supply. It came with a hard drive, but I swapped it out with an SSD. I put a GTX 750 Ti in there, and that is my travel gaming computer. Works great. My new addition is my Dell Precision T3600, which was used in a computer aided design firm, and that firm was liquidated. So there was a surplus of these things, and this has a E5-1660 CPU in it. It's 3.3 gigahertz, turbos up to 3.8 gigahertz, and it is a 6-core, 12-thread processor from obviously a Xeon. Came with 16 gigabytes of DDR3, and the seller initially said that it had a 500 gigabyte hard drive, which was a lie. It ended up having a 256 gigabyte SSD, a Samsung Evo SSD, and he said it had an AMD graphics card, and that was a lie. It had an NVIDIA Quadro card in it, which was perfectly fine, and I really didn't care about the NVIDIA Quadro, but needless to say, I picked this thing up for $125. If I failed to mention, I picked this thing up way back when for $65. So, great deals, great people that you can deal with on there. But, a few things on this. I'm going to open it up, show you the limitations of these newer Dell T3600s as opposed to the T3500s or 7500s or 5500s. Everything in these T3600s is proprietary. It has a proprietary motherboard. It has a proprietary power supply, so you are very limited in your upgrade options. But I will show you what you can do to it, what you can add to it, and the main point of this video is I'm going to add another GTX 10. I'm going to add a GTX 1060 into this, and we're going to see what its gaming capabilities are. I'm going to run some gaming benchmarks, and just overall see what it's capable of doing. So, with that said, sit back and let me get this thing opened up, and I'll show you the internals, and we'll do a quick overview of the Dell T3600, and then we'll get on with the benchmarks. Alright, so very quickly on the front, let's just start on the, we have our power button, we have the microphone jack, headphone jack on the front, we have one USB 3.0 and 3 USB 2.0s on the front. It has a laptop style CD drive, DVD drive. And then it has one 5.5 quarter inch bay, which I will of course swapped out for a hot swappable hard drive tray, so I can have an additional hard drive. Let's get into the side view. So, opening it up from the side, pretty much very quick and easy. Let's get into this. Let's get down here. So. Sorry for the shaky video, I don't have no tripod with me today. So you have, down here at the bottom, you have upgradability for 2 hard drives. Of course, like I said initially, it had a 256 gigabyte SSD. I went ahead and added a 2 terabyte hard drive, a Western Digital Green. With my hot swap bay right there, I can add an additional hard drive. SATA ports, it has 6 SATA ports on it, so you can have, but like I said, you're limited on what you can put in here. So now, the one thing I do not like about this hard drive is it has a 635 watt proprietary power supply. This thing literally pulls out of the board, and you cannot put an ATX power supply into this computer. So 635 watts is all you can do with this. But it is a hot swappable, and I'll show you that when we reach the back. So The only thing you can add is it has two 6-pin PCI connectors. So if your graphics card takes a 6-pin, you can actually upgrade your graphics card, or you can SLI or whatever with upgrade your graphics card. Currently I have a GTX 750 Ti in there, but I'm going to take that out and put a GTX 1060 in there. So it has numerous PCIe slots. They are, I can't see, I want to say they're Gen 3, but it has two 16x PCIe slots, and then it has a couple 4x, a couple 8x, so on and so forth. It has an internal USB drive, so if you were going to treat this as like a VMware solution, you could put a USB thumb drive inside the computer and run it that way. That's pretty much it. And then of course you got that big clunky heatsink. You got your 4 DIMM slots of DDR3 memory, so 16 gigs total. And then of course, like I said, you are very limited in your options on upgrading. So like all you can pretty much do is have 2 hard drives initially, unless if you do the hot swap. You can have up to maybe 3 hard drives and add a graphics card. So I don't necessarily like that they went with the whole proprietary route, but what are you going to do? So that's pretty much the inside of it. So let's switch over to the back. So on the back, you got keyboard and mouse. You got your audio in and audio out. You have a serial port. You have a gigabit Ethernet. You have USB 2.0s. You got your PS2 mouse and keyboard. You got more USB 2.0s, and on the back you have one USB 3.0. And then of course you have your graphics card down there. And then there's the proprietary power supply that can get pulled out. I'm sorry for the shaky video, guys. Like I said, I don't have the tripod, and I'm holding this iPhone by hand. So, alright, so that's pretty much the inside of the Dell T3600. I'm sorry if I shook the camera all over the place, but you guys can sue me if you have a seizure. So I'll be back, and let's go ahead and swap out the GPUs in this, and let's get these gaming benchmarks going. Guys, so very quickly, I took out the 750 Ti, and I'm going to be swapping it out with a Zotac 1060, 3GB. That's going to be our graphics card for our gaming benchmarks.